Have you ever wondered how this guy got KFC? Me neither, but here's KFC's history anyway. On September 9th, 1890, Harlan David Sanders would be born in Henryville, Indiana. He had a tough early life as he lost two father figures, had to look after his siblings, and worked various jobs to make a living. At age 7, he was already skilled with bread and vegetables whilst improving on meat. But as the 1900s rolled around, he would have many jobs, including being a farmhand, a railway worker, a firefighter, but got fired after falling ill, a lawyer, but left due to a courtroom brawl, even sold life insurance, but got fired for insubordination. Sanders may have worked many jobs, but still has no background in the food industry. Until 1930. The Shell Oil Company would offer Sanders a service station in North Corbin, Kentucky rent-free. In return, they would get a percentage of sales. At his cafe, he sold items like chicken, country ham, and steaks. He would cook for travelers stopping for gas. His food grew more popular, eventually getting the food critic Duncan Hines to visit his restaurant. In his book Adventures in Good Reading, the entry read, Corbin, Kentucky, Sanders Court and Cafe, 41 Junction with 2525 E. 1/2 mi north of Corbin. Open all year except Xmas, a very good place to stop en route to Cumberland Falls and the Great Smokies. Continuous 24-hour service. Selling steaks, fried chicken, country ham, hot biscuits, L. 50 cents to $1, D. 60 cents to $1. Not only that, but in 1936, the Kentucky governor gave him the honorary title as colonel. 1936 would then mark the year Harlan Sanders became Colonel Sanders. 1939 would be an eventful year for both Sanders and the world. In July of 1939, Sanders got a motel in North Carolina, making it his first restaurant named Sanders Cafe. But in September of 1939, World War II started, but America wasn't involved yet. Sadly, in November 1939, his North Corbin restaurant would be burnt down. But he had it rebuilt as a 140-seat motel! By July 1940, Sanders had finalized his recipe with 11 herbs and spices and using a pressure cooker for better speed whilst maintaining quality. But when America joined the war in 1941, Sanders Cafe saw a slow decline. Because of gas rations and tourism declines, the cafe saw a decline of customers, forcing Sanders to shut it down. During the early 1942, he would work as a supervisor, cafeteria manager, and an assistant cafeteria manager. Later into 1942, Sanders sold the Asheville business and became manager of North Corbin Restaurant. But his North Corbin restaurant wasn't doing good either. In 1952, an interstate highway was built, diverting traffic away from Sanders, which led to a decline of business. Because of this, Sanders shut down his business and began looking to franchise his recipe. Sanders, now 62, traveled across America, looking for people to franchise his chicken recipe. Luckily, he found restaurant owners in South Salt Lake, Utah. And together, on 24th of September 1952, they would make the first restaurant with Sanders' fried chicken recipe, named KFC. Restaurant owner Pete Harmon was the guy who came up with the logo and name. The brand also grew quick as it rivaled hamburgers in the fast food industry. Throughout the decade, he would cook his chicken to other restaurant owners as a way of expanding his franchise. In 1955, he would open the first KFC in Canada at the city of Saskatoon. This would open up more opportunities for KFC's expansion across the globe. By 1964, 600 KFCs were all around the US and Canada. He would enjoy this success throughout 1956 to 1964, but of course it had to come to an end. Because of KFC's rapid expansion, it made it hard for him to catch up. So he sold the company to a group of investors but remained the face of KFC. This would mark the moment KFC changed. Now under new ownership, KFC began expanding rapidly throughout the 1960s and 70s, reaching to countries like the UK, Australia and Mexico. It would also become the largest fast food chain in the US whilst having 3,500 places worldwide. The current owners, John Brown and Jack Massey, made a total of $284 million. But in 1971, the company was sold once again to Hoobline Inc. for $285 million. million. Although KFC still thrived, many changes were made, including quality control and even the chicken recipe. Sanders did not like the changes made and certainly was not a happy customer, calling the food goddamn slop. He wasn't just sad, he was mad. In the 1970s, Sanders would call out the food for being disgusting. This made him open up an opposing restaurant called Claudia Sanders Dinner House. This made Who Blind mad, which caused them to sue Sanders for basically using his name. In retaliation, Sanders sued KFC for using his face in branding. But this was settled and Sanders got $2 million from it. Sanders continued promoting the brand until his death in 1980 from pneumonia. RIP Sanders. In 1986, PepsiCo would get their hands on KFC whilst already owning Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. They would heavily invest on modernizing KFC's operations and international growth. Under PepsiCo, KFC grew overseas quick and became one of the fastest Western fast food chains to enter emerging markets like China's market. PepsiCo would decide to make a spin-off company known as Yum Brands in 1997. Under Yum, they continued growing in Asia and Africa, with China being their biggest market with thousands of outlets. Throughout the 2000s, KFC diversified its menu to appeal to more modern tastes. This includes chicken sandwiches, wraps, and more. They also developed modern times using more technology like online ordering and mobile apps. And even with competition, it remains as one of the best fast food places, having 25,000 restaurants over 145 countries. Here we are in the modern day. You will never need this info once in your life. But as we are here, you might as well like and subscribe.